Hi, my name is Kaushal Goyal, and I'm a solutions architect at AWS. And I have with me Eelco, CTO of Carerix, and Bart, CTO of CloudNation and AWS partner. And today we are going to talk about how Carerix modernized their core platform using Amazon EKS and other fully managed services from AWS. So Eelco, can you tell us a bit more about what Carerix does?
Of course, thank you. Carerix is an ISV providing SaaS services to our customers who are usually in the recruitment industry. And we provide an ATS as a SaaS. And ATS stands for Applicant Tracking Software. We basically enable our customers to make the perfect match between people and vacancies.
Sounds interesting, right? So I understand on this modernization journey, you worked with CloudNation and Bart's team. Can you tell us a bit more about what CloudNation does?
Yeah, sure. So CloudNation, born in the cloud, professional services company. We started in 2018. We have 60 plus consultants who are very, very skilled in migration and modernization. And we focus on ISVs like Carerix, but also fintech and health tech and startups. And of course, we do some AI as well. And we love to be innovative for our customers, right? We love to be that innovative partner for our customers. And one of the taglines beneath our logo is knows how. So we know how to, transfer that knowledge. We know how to, bring those learnings from other migrations and modernizations that we've done to, in this case, Carerix.
Sounds perfect. So just wanted to understand that what were the pain points Carerix was having where you started thinking of modernizing the applications, right?
So we as Carerix have been running a SaaS business for 20 years. We've been doing that for 20 years on our own physical hardware within our data center. We wanted to get rid of our dependency on physical hardware. Firstly, because there was loads of work involved with it, in replacing hardware components, etc., etc. Took a lot of time from my engineers in Amsterdam. And secondly, there was a exit required from the data center we were in at the moment. So there was a reason to move anyways. We contacted AWS. He pointed us to Bart.
Yeah.
And together with Bart, we decided to start migrating to AWS.
Right. So Bart, I think when Carerix came to you, you heard about the problem statements they were having. What was your view and how the strategy came to the life?
Yeah, so Eelco showed me the picture of his current data center. Obviously, that was very different than what you would expect if you migrate something to AWS. So I think it's a very good choice that he took that decision to move to AWS. How we approached the project basically is first, we as CloudNation, we love to build relationships, right? It's not that we like to do a project and then we leave. No, we like to build long-term relationship. And I think that really clicked with Eelco, Carerix and CloudNation. The way we approach things, we really want to understand what makes the business of Carerix drive and make that better from a architectural design perspective once we've migrated that with the team of Carerix to AWS. And I think that joint effort in getting that design right and iterating on that, we made a two-step approach basically. So first was this lift and shift thing, and after that a modernization where we tried to cut up the monolith, and we're still doing that. Bits by pieces. So
great. I think this is a very popular approach amongst the customers that they try to migrate to AWS first and then start realizing the benefits of cloud, like on-demand delivery of IT resources. So increased business agility, reducing total cost of ownership, and then also having access of AWS managed services so that you can, modernize quickly if you want to, right? So before we go there to the modernization part, I want to understand how the migration worked out for you. I understand you had a strict requirement of exiting the data center. What was the scale of it? How big?
Our infrastructure in the physical data center consisted of 65 physical servers, a classical 3-type layer architecture, web servers, application servers, and database servers. For parts of these servers, migrating them to AWS web services, we used the AWS MGN, the migration tooling. For other parts, we already had rebuild scenarios in Ansible playbooks, which we used to roll out new machines towards the cloud. We found it not useful to do it again, since we had that running already. The total data size of the migration that we did for purely data storage without taking S3 into account was 89 terabytes worth of data, moving this to the cloud. Migration scenario that we took was that we rebuilt our application servers within AWS, and those we switched in a big bang scenario. For our data replication, we built slave systems in the cloud and migrated our data that way to make sure that we could switch on the moment that we wanted to switch from secondary to primary, and making AWS the active part of our data set.
And to minimize downtime, right?
And to minimize downtime, of course, yes. Because then in the end, you want to have happy customers, and happy customers for me means without downtime.
Yeah, totally understand. So now I understand you were in AWS after migration, and you started modernizing your applications. And there are a lot of techniques to do that. Some people go for microservice architecture and they break in their monoliths using Strangler-Fick pattern. Some people actually rewrite their applications. What was your strategy?
So the strategy we're taking is twofold. We are partially Strangler patterning our application where possible. We have quite a nice monolith with loads of features in there. Some features are easier to strangle pattern than others. For the Strangler pattern things that we do, we move them to Amazon EKS. We've got a different environment built in AWS in which we are running Amazon EKS containerized services. For the other part of the application, we are refactoring it towards a more modern language. Currently, our monolith is written in WebObject C#, and we are moving to Java-based monolith, smaller and more fit for purpose than the current monolith that we use.
Great. So I understand you moved to containers and Amazon EKS. Was that advice from CloudNation, or what was the inspiration behind it?
So the reason for choosing Amazon EKS, at least containers in this case, is that it, firstly of all, we have loads of knowledge both on the side of CloudNation as well as in my teams with the guys and girls who already are used to working with containers and containerized systems, both my system administrators as well as my developers. So it was a logical choice within the companies to make. And secondly, we also foresee that we are going to integrate more third-party services within the product that we use and that we serve our customers. And EKS provides us the flexibility to actually also run those within the control span of ourselves.
And we added loads of automation like CI/CD pipelines, automated testing when Eelco's team deploys new iterations or new versions of the platform as well. So
I totally agree. I totally can relate with the flexibility part here, and I just understand you mentioned a lot of third-party and open source tooling that you could leverage with Amazon EKS as a platform. Can you talk us a bit more about some of those services that you integrated?
Absolutely. So I'm going to split this in twofold again, because we have two AWS environments, right? We have our EKS, our Amazon EKS environment, and we have our AWS environment running our legacy stack. For our legacy stack, we've always been integrated our systems with Nagios and Logstash and Kibana for reporting and metrics, something we use already quite for a long term in our company, and we wanted to migrate as much as possible. So we still have that on Nagios and Logstash and Kibana. When I look at the EKS part of our platform, we use Prometheus and Grafana for collecting all sorts of metrics and running those within the EKS instances within the platform.
Right. I think very good points there. I understand Amazon EKS also integrates pretty well with AWS services. Are you using any managed AWS services with your EKS platform?
Absolutely. Within our EKS environment, we use, for example, AWS load balancers, native AWS load balancers, but also Amazon RDS All our data is stored within RDS. Simple choice, right? It's less work. It doesn't have to. Don't have to worry as much about non-functional requirements, and you can just basically think about how to make your data model optimized or other nice things that you can do to gain some speed.
So yeah, talking about optimization, there are a lot of options in Amazon EKS itself for optimizing the infrastructure, optimizing the cost. How the experience was for you? What did you use any technologies and tools to optimize the cost and the platform?
Absolutely. One of the main things we did is that we have switched where possible in our EKS environment totally, in our monolith environment almost totally towards AWS Graviton processes. More bang for the buck, right? It's less money for the same performance. Unfortunately, in our monolith environment, there are some software tools which do not have ARM support. So therefore, we couldn't switch to Amazon AWS Graviton. But on our EKS environment, we're totally switched to Graviton. Second thing we're doing within our Amazon EKS environment is that we're running Carpenter. It scales automatically. It makes sure that we make efficient resource usages and scales down where possible. Also saves us some money in running costs.
So now I understand that you're running your core platform on Amazon EKS and other fully managed services from AWS. I understand it has been quite some journey for you to migrate on AWS first and then start modernizing your applications. So how was the overall journey? Did you face any challenges and learning, working together? Bart, from your side?
Yeah, so obviously, this is not the first time that we migrate customers. So there are a lot of learnings there. Among others, we want to have minimal downtime as possible. So we designed it in the migration approach so that we could have minimal downtime. Like for instance, replication on the databases, and then at the last minute switching the DNS, for instance, is one of the things that we've done. Obviously, getting to know the team very well and their strengths and where we could level up their knowledge about AWS, I think has been a very good one within the project, which made it successful. We're not only there to do the project, we're there to do, the long-term commitment to our customers as well. I think that really made the difference.
Right. Do you want to add anything from the technical standpoint of view?
No, I think Bart is telling it really well. And I think the collaboration between us was quite good. And CloudNation, as Bart says, does this quite a lot. So all the pitfalls that you fall in doing that for a first time, they took away for us.
Right. No, it's always good to have somebody who has experience in these journeys to advise you at the right time. I also want to understand that what were the benefits that you're realizing now after you have, successfully migrated, modernized your platform? Are there any benefits that you're looking at the current state or, expecting in the longer term?
So definitely. There's multiple ways of looking at benefits, right? Let's start off with the financials. We've been on budget, and we are on budget for the run phase as well. So we've got quite some nice predictability within our costs, and not have to do initial investments of buying hardware or those kind of things anymore. Then, secondly, looking at technical benefits, we are definitely more stable, have higher uptime, our quicker response times, processing power is higher, so we are just snappier in application, which is definitely a nice thing. And thirdly, but definitely not last, is that we are able to tap into the future better. We are way more easily able to use services like, for example, the AWS API Gateway. That's definitely something we would like to include in our new API.
And I also think the team is happier because they can focus more on innovation.
Yeah,
they can focus more on innovation.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, totally understand. And thank you, Eelco, and thank you, Bart. It was such a nice story, great success story about how AWS partners and customers are working together to achieve the final goal, which is serving the end customers better. Thank you for coming here and talking about it. It was really nice to have you here. Thank you, everybody, for listening us. If you want to know more about application modernization and Amazon EKS on AWS, then please follow the links below. Thank you very much.